Oh, I don't pay for suits. My suits are on the house, or the house burns down.
Welcome back to the Red Right Hand Podcast, the show that covers each episode of the Peaky Blinders. I'm Josh.
And I'm Curtis.
And we are back for Season 3, Episode 2. The last episode ended with Tommy talking about a robbery that they were planning. We didn't really get any information from that. It was just that
it's a train robbery.
That there was going to be a robbery.
Good old stick 'em up.
But I think this episode, it's the one for the season that really starts to kind of pick up. It starts bringing a lot of stuff into play all really quickly. And I could see how if you weren't rewatching the episode that a lot of stuff could kind of fly by you.
Yeah.
Or you didn't know who they were talking about or what was going on. It all kind of starts getting pieced together over the next couple episodes, but they start kind of laying the foundation here for everything really that the season's going to be about, or the main part of the conflict at least.
So if you haven't been paying attention, now's the time to start paying attention.
So the episode starts, and we're at the Lancaster Motor Company, and Tommy comes to speak to the foreman there. He's looking for something. He learns that Base 6 is storing what he's looking for there at the in their warehouses. I put down a note there that for my... Oh, okay. So when he's threatening the... I guess kind of subtly threatening the foreman, the guy mentions that he's only going to do this because of his family. And I think that's probably the reason a lot of these people do the things that they need them to do is out of fear for their family.
Yeah, they're thinking of their family and they want to keep them safe.
But I thought it was interesting because of what Tommy said in the last episode, that guy said, you know, I'm only doing this to protect my family. And that for him, family was a weakness, like Tommy was talking about in the last episode.
I feel like that's the theme of this series or this season, whatever you want to say, is family.
Yeah. And so for this guy, family was a weakness. And then Tommy says in the last episode that for them, family is their strength.
See, what we're saying is, you know, the series is about family. So they should use, like I said earlier, the Family Matters intro song for this series. Because Family
Cillian
Matters.
Murphy as Tommy Shelby.
Yeah. Anyway. But you're right. I mean, it seems to be kind of a thing we're going to see more here in the next, few episodes, this one included, that family is a very important thing to Tommy, and it's his, what did he say? It's his, not weakness, but what's the opposite? His strength. There we go. Yeah, for some reason the word was just lost. I could not find it. But yeah, it's definitely his strength.
Yeah. So Tommy goes to the bay and inspects what he was looking for there. He finds storage of tanks, and he's going through, kind of checking everything out. And I thought it was a really cool shot. Like, he looks inside, he looks at the tanks, he looks inside the tanks, and then as he steps away from the tanks, there's like that ringing in the ears sound that starts,
Yeah.
And then he's breathing really heavily, and then the very next scene is him with his head down, splashing water in his face, and there's like...
Still that ringing.
Yeah, and there's that explosion behind him in the mirror.
Yeah.
Just from one of the factories there. And I thought the first time that I saw this, I remembered it on the rewatch. I thought the first time that we were getting a flashback. I thought we were getting a flashback to Tommy and the war, which I was super stoked for.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't get that.
Unfortunately not. I just kind of wish that they would do more of that. You know, I mean, they did a lot in like the first season.
Like
Yeah.
just one. Well, they gave you the tunnels.
Right, that's
I
what I'm
wanna
saying.
see
I
when
was
they
gonna
were
say,
all at the Somme.
yeah.
Or
If you'd let me finish, that's what I was gonna say.
well,
Man.
I won't let you finish.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. In the first season, they did more of the tunnel stuff, which was cool. You know, but yeah, I'd like to see more other things too. I think would have been pretty cool.
Yeah. Like that would have been an awesome transition for it.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
Kind of a missed opportunity.
Yep, swing and I miss.
I feel like that would have probably been a lot more expensive than
Yeah.
what they're used to paying for.
Well, yeah. Season 3, I mean, maybe you're just not so sure that you're going to be able to make it 2 or 3 more seasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, who knows what their popularity was at that time.
So then we get introduced to a new character. Tommy's sitting outside one of their scrap metal yards with a priest named Father Hughes.
Has to be like the worst character in this whole show.
Oh God, he's terrible.
Yeah, I hate his guts.
Yeah, he's pretty awful. He's up there with like Joffrey for me in Game of Thrones. Like the whole season with him, I'm just like, ugh.
This Joker.
Like somebody kill this guy. So Father Hughes, we don't really know a lot about him. It's obvious he's in some kind of position of power because he is there with Tommy on behalf of and also to meet this other group of guys that Tommy's kind of getting involved with. They've got a few different names, the Odd Fellows, the Economic League, the Vigilance Committee, and Section D. And then I think this other guy is just like a part of those groups, but Patrick Jarvis,
MP.
yeah, MP, is
Military police?
another guy. That's what I thought, but
That's what I was thinking, but I think it means something else. I don't know.
Okay.
I think some type of royalty name or whatever. You know, kind of like OBE.
Okay.
But I
also don't know what that means.
It's basically being knighted, but I don't remember what it stands for.
Okay. But he's another guy who's an associate of Father Hughes, who we're going to see quite a bit, who deals with those groups. On my notes, I put down, is he a pedophile, question mark? Because
Did you have to ask that? I mean, I think it was pretty obvious.
yeah, well, it's the conversation between the priest and Tommy at the beginning, where the priest is asking him about the foundation and the it's just like a boys and girls school.
Yeah, it's some type of like Catholic school, I think.
Okay.
Or well, I shouldn't say Catholic school, but some school, I guess.
He was like asking,
Or some type of foundation for kids. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was asking about that, and then he was saying that he'd have an office there. That he was gonna move in basically and have an office there, and that Patrick Jarvis would also be making regular visits there, and that they would work out some kind of deal. So I'm like, what is happening here? You know, and this is before like, you know, you start learning about these guys. So I was really confused on the rewatch. I was just like, wow, I guess I didn't catch that in the beginning.
Seriously?
I don't think I linked up. I knew Father Hughes, but I didn't make the connection with Patrick Jarvis. I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't think about it.
Okay.
In retrospect, he's a really creepy guy, so it all kind of makes sense. But
yeah.
So they talk about the tanks that are at the Lancaster Company. Tommy's just kind of giving him some information about that. So we're picking up that the deal that Tommy's doing with these people is over those tanks. But the guys they're waiting on don't show up. And they just kind of lead us to know that all of these people who are a part of this group, the Oddfellows, the Economic League, whatever, that they're all very prominent, powerful people. He says, maybe this one guy got caught up at the House. Maybe this other guy got caught up at the House of Lords. There's like the House of Commons and the House of Lords.
Yeah, so they're way up there.
Yeah. But they don't come, and Tommy and the priest go their separate ways. But Father Hughes tells him that he now has a meeting with somebody else. What do you say, in London?
Think so?
I can't remember where he said. I think it was London. So he was going to have to get there as fast as possible. They're kind of just jerking his chain around. That's how a lot of this goes, is just them trying to either send him a message about what might happen to him if he doesn't deliver, or them just jerking his chain like this, like, oh, yeah, we set up this meeting, but actually there is no meeting, and you're going to have to make another meeting across town.
I think they're trying to show him, too, is like, we're in charge, you're not.
Yeah, for sure.
You're yeah.
That was a better way to put that.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, though. I think we kind of led into each other's point.
And then we go to a place called the Wilderness House in Hampton Court. Which,
Ooh.
who knows?
Random.
Probably in London, I guess. Maybe not. And that's when we first meet... who is it? Duke Romanov?
Romanov, yeah. Of the Romanovs family.
Yeah. That's when we first meet him. So they're going to be... I don't even know if you want to say these are like the antagonists for the season. They're a part of kind of everything that's going on, but they're also kind of... Seems like they're kind of at the mercy of Section D also.
Yeah, I would put Section D, Oddfellows, whatever you want to call them, as the antagonist, the main antagonist at least.
Yeah. So a servant comes in and basically gives Romanov a rundown on his day, and he's supposed to meet with these several different high society
Prominent,
people. Yeah, just some prominent people, and they all cancel on him. But the guy tells him that he does have a business appointment with Tommy Shelby to talk about cars. We say automobiles.
Automobiles.
Yeah, so that's just kind of like the little segue to...
Kind of introduce him to him.
Introduce him and let you know that they're going to be involved.
Well, we're never going to see him again. It was just some random time-filling slot.
Yeah, we'll never see
Check out this
Romanov
random
again.
dude and his random day.
Here's a random Russian guy in exile.
Yeah.
So after that, we have a meeting between the Changrettas and the Blinders. They meet in Charlie's scrapyard. They talk about... Basically, Changretta is mad that his son, Angel, basically isn't allowed to see Lizzie.
He's being harassed.
Yeah. They talk about the peace. You get a little bit of the history, what's been going on the last few years between some of the smaller families and the Blinders, territories, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's cool, too, because you kind of get a peek of what happened with Sabini, because his name is brought up.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the conversation, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really get... I feel like you never really get much.
No, but he makes the point of Sabini basically submitted to Tommy and his family in the end.
Yeah.
Is basically a subject to him.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Changrettas are in the Italians.
Yeah. And John kind of pushes it a little bit too far. Changretta says that my son will walk with any woman in this city that he wants, and John says it'd be hard for him to walk with a bullet in each knee. And I thought the scene was significant too, because I think I told you that it's John who, sees consequences from this stuff further down the road.
Well, that's what I like about this series, or at least this episode and this part, is because this is, you got all the stuff going on with the Economic League and the exiled Russians and the communists. That's your main part of season 3. But then you have this thing kind of taking up sort of a backseat role with the Italians, and you just kind of, if you're just first time watching it, you think, oh, it's just something else to kind of go on in this season. But the people that are making this show are setting you up for the next series. Just in episode 2 of season 3 already. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
and that's why I liked about it a lot.
Yeah, and not even setting up season 4. This episode sets up season 5.
How so?
5 is the Changrettas, right?
No, 4 is the next season.
Who's 5?
5 is the Nazis. Oswald.
Oh, God. I have completely just blotted out season 5 from my memory.
I was watching...
this all sounds so new.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of the last episode of season 5 the other day, and I don't remember half of it. And that's just the ending scene.
I remember how the episode ends.
Well, yeah, I remember that. That's iconic.
Yeah.
Because that was one of my favorite parts of the whole series. But anyway, back to season 3.
Right, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We're getting way ahead of ourselves here. But yeah, it's setting it up for season 4. And yeah, it's pretty strange that I just don't get why John, I guess, I don't know. Of course, you got Arthur, he's kind of changing his ways. He's found religion. So he's kind of more mild-mannered than what he was in the last couple of seasons. And John's just so carefree, and he's more kind of towards Tommy in terms of, we need to command respect. But it's he's taking this meeting, not seriously at all, Yeah. I mean, they didn't come with, violence or anything like that. The Italians didn't,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird move, and John's just so all over the place. Last season, he wanted to, he had more of a mind for business and what was better for business.
Yeah.
And that they didn't need to even go to London, that they didn't need to do all these extra things. And so, yeah, it's weird to see him in this next season just so, no, we own everything.
He got to taste that London life, man, that what a bohemian lifestyle. And
yeah,
and then you gain more power, and yeah, it goes through your head, man. Or it's just character development, one or the other, man. I don't know.
So the Changrettas leave angry, and you can tell something will come from...
Something's brewing.
Yeah.
They break a chair, man.
There's some stuff going on. Tommy goes to visit Ada at the library where she's working. He goes to get a book from her. I basically took it as, wasn't he looking up the Romanovs?
Yeah, he was looking it up.
Yeah, he was trying to get just a little bit of information about them.
So we get a little background or behind the scenes of how he does his research.
Yeah.
He finds out about people.
Yeah.
Of course, this one's a little bit harder because nobody really knows about these people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That he usually goes to, to get information for. So he's like, oh, just go to the library.
Ada asks him about the Russian, and Tommy says that basically she only wants to know about all this stuff because she's bored.
Man, she's like, she said something about she might want to see him again. Like, ugh, that dude is like 30, 40 years older looking than you, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Super old and a total weirdo.
Yeah.
Polly goes to talk to John at their offices about everything going on with the Changrettas. Tommy's, taking care of all his business, so he's kind of left everything to Polly and Arthur to handle. Polly goes there to tell him that Arthur says he needs to apologize to Changretta for basically offending them and threatening his son's life. And then Polly says that he should compromise and have Lizzie go and talk to him and apologize and say that the whole thing was her fault, and break it off with him.
Break it off, yeah. Just dump him.
Yeah. But John gets pretty wound up during all of this.
It's almost like they maybe shouldn't have talked to him about it.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of don't know why they did. John doesn't really have a say. It's like I said, like Polly and Arthur, mostly Polly, are in charge when Tommy's away.
Right.
And so he gets pretty mad about it. After that, that's another example of a scene that I feel like two scenes they should have just stacked up against each other. Then we could have moved on to Tommy and Duke Romanov,
Yeah.
Like, why like 5 minutes and then we'll go back to that. Anyway.
He's taking a walk. That's what it is.
Yeah,
He's just taking a walk.
John storms out. He's pissed. Tommy goes to meet Duke Romanov for the first time. Do you know where they were? Is it some kind of hotel or?
Was it a hotel? I want to say it was
like a tea room type facility. I don't know, what they call those. But Tommy goes to meet him there, and they basically say that he's going to have to pay in advance because the Duke has several outstanding bills. They've already written off a bunch of charges, and he still owes them a bunch of money.
Shocking.
Yeah. So Tommy goes and sits to talk with him. What are they talking about? At first, they just kind of small talk.
He's telling him about his journey over here and all that different stuff like that.
What was he there to tell him? I mean, I guess the point of the scene is just to kind of establish who these people are, why they're kind of doing what they're doing, and to also get that Sapphire into Tommy's hands.
Where's that Sapphire been, man? Ugh.
It's been a couple places.
Dark places. It's seen things, man.
It has seen things. What was he giving him the Sapphire as payment for? He said and a down payment on future services, but was it for... it was for killing the imposter, right? The Russian. Because he was saying, already I've had to have a man killed, and that kind of work doesn't come cheap.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
So they give him a Sapphire. Most of their money that the Romanovs have is in jewels. Because it's what they could escape with from Soviet
Georgia.
Empire.
Well, yeah.
From Georgia. And I don't know...
To escape the communists.
Educate me here. What's the significance of them not being part of, the Russian royal family, but they're from Georgia?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's just, may not be blood. Well, I don't know. Maybe, somehow related through, marriages or whatever. to the royal family. I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot about all that. I just know, like, they
Is he
got
like
ran
the-
out of.
Is he like the Duke equivalent of like a hedge knight? Like,
I guess. I don't know. Maybe. If you know, tell us.
We just kind of get a look at, I don't know, the scene lays out for you who these people are, where they come from, but also kind of what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And he tells Tommy that when the revolution began, that we were weak and we made compromises. That they were foolish, but he says they will never be weak and foolish again. So he
Debatable.
yeah. No, he's already been foolish because he already told Tommy during their conversation there that they don't use the bank.
True. Yeah.
Like, Tommy's already trying to figure out where they're keeping all of this stuff. So after that, Angel Changretta is going to pick up a suit from the tailor.
It's dry cleaning day.
Yeah, and John attacks him. He beats up the guy that's with him, beats the hell out of Angel, and then he cuts the hell out of one of his eyes. I don't think he cuts his eye out, but he definitely...
I think he definitely makes him blind in one eye.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say there's no coming back from that cut.
No, it's pretty bad.
Especially in that time period. Yeah, there's no way we're saving that eye.
Yeah. And it's like he wasn't going to. Like, he was just going to, like, beat him. But then there's, like, a long dramatic pause moment before he, like, rips the hat off and then...
He's like, oh yeah, I have this.
Yeah, it takes the eye out. He's like, okay.
Right, yep.
So... by John doing that, like, we already felt like something was kind of coming, and now...
Let's make things worse.
Now something's really going to happen. Because John's attacked his son. After that, family meeting, and Tommy comes in to basically kind of give judgment on what's transpired the last 24 hours. I just liked the line he had. You chose not to listen to Mr. Apologize or Mrs. Compromise. And he basically just tells him that he supports what John did, that you have to act strong against a rebellion. And I also really liked the line there, if we lift our heel off their neck, they'll just come back at us.
Which I get, you know.
Yeah, no, they have to
It's
keep...
just, I don't know, it's tough because, I mean, we know what's coming. So, like, I was sitting here rewatching and I'm thinking, yeah, but I kind of want to apologize, but I know we can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, if you just wouldn't have been the way you were in the beginning, you know, at that meeting, then maybe you wouldn't have gotten this bad. I don't know, man. It's just very unfortunate. The road that they chose, you know.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I understand, like, you want to keep your foot on the neck when they're down and command their respect. Because I think he even says it too. It's like, if we start apologizing, then that's a brick out of the house. And then next thing you know, we don't have a house.
Yeah.
To live in, basically.
Yeah. So every time you apologize, it's like taking a brick out of your house.
Yeah. Nice analogy, Tommy. Bravo.
This episode is full of euphemisms.
I did like how he brought up Danny Whizbang, too.
Yeah. These are the bastards that wanted Danny Whizbang dead. And I also didn't really... I don't know. I guess I didn't know it was the Changrettas then. They might say it, like, in that first season.
I don't know. And that's what I was about to say. I'm wondering if he's meaning... the Changrettas or Italians? I'm thinking he's just talking about Italians.
I think he means the Changrettas.
I just think it's Italians.
Maybe, but I feel like probably not.
They didn't really say anything about
Sabini
the two guys,
didn't
though.
want... him dead. You know, like it was one specific family that he had basically offended by killing that guy in Little Italy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I think he's just trying to group everybody together. He's like, look, they're all Italians, and this is what I think of Italians, basically.
I'm sure he's just saying whatever he needs to say to like get them more on his side. So then after this we get an introduction to Romanov's wife. It's the first time we meet her, I think, right?
Yes, yep. The first time we realize she wears the pants in the family.
Yeah. She's written a bunch of letters
He's
to...
definitely a whipping boy.
Yeah. To different people. And they kind of acknowledge that. Even her niece says that, you know, that like true, she runs the operation.
Yeah.
And she makes that very clear to everybody else in their group, you know.
Yep.
She's written a bunch of letters to some different people that I don't think they're really their friends. They're people they're just trying to like get favor with. And one of them she wrote super provocatively that was supposed to be from him to another guy's wife because she's a big flirt. They're basically just playing up who they need to be to each of these people.
Yep.
And yeah, it just kind of serves to show you that she's the one in charge. But she also says, at the end of our business with Tommy Shelby, you'll likely have to kill him. Will you be able to? And he very hesitantly says yes.
Yes.
So Tommy goes home, and Grace has been working on a bunch of stuff for their charity event that they're doing for the foundation. Tommy gives Grace the sapphire that he got from the Russians. He has it made into a necklace. When I say made into a necklace, I mean I think there's just like, you know, like a metal ring around the outside of it now, and it's on a chain. Like it doesn't change it. They talk about the foundation, some people she's convinced to attend, some money that's being raised for it. She's really excited. That's kind of what she wants for their life. She wants Tommy to run automobiles and horses and her to run the foundation. That's kind of like her ideal thing.
Which I think he kind of feels the same way. It's just you keep getting wrapped up, you know, in things you don't want to get wrapped up in, but you got to take care of business, you know?
Yeah. So he told everybody in the family meeting that part of them keeping the Changrettas in line was that they were going to take two of their pubs also. What do you say, the Five Bells and...
I can't remember the other one.
Yeah, I don't remember the other one. The pubs just always have cool names.
Yeah.
So they're going to take those two pubs from them also. Just siphon off more of their business and their lifeline.
Yep.
So Arthur goes to meet with Moss and just tells him that he gives him some cash, and he tells him to keep his men out of what part of town was it?
I don't remember, but I mean the part of town where those pubs are at least.
And then we just get the scene there of them taking the pubs. It's just kind of like an important scene for Arthur too, because he comes out, he washes the blood off his hands in the rain, and then John yells at him that they're going to the garrison, and Arthur says he's going home, which just pisses John off. Like, well, John's so angry all the time.
Yeah. It's like, the dude wants to go home, let him go home.
Yeah. So they take the pubs. Oh, the music that's playing, like at the end of that scene, after they take over the pubs, it was really weird. Did you notice that, like, as the music faded out, like, and they go to the hospital, Angel's screaming is like it goes with the music a little bit at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if that was yeah. It's like I wonder if that was just me.
No, I heard you.
Cool. So Changreta Senior, because I don't know what his name is.
The old man.
Yeah, they just call him the old man. Arranges for an assassin to come over from Naples, right?
Yeah.
And is this the other guy, the guy from season 4? Is he? I know they're related, but is he one of his sons?
Yeah, it's his one son from America. It's in America.
Okay. Is the guy who came over a member of their family? Do you know?
That I don't know. They never really said.
Okay.
They just make it sound like an assassin or something.
Yeah.
Some hitman.
Okay. So they arrange for this guy to come over, and we don't know who he's coming for. I mean, at first, I guess I kind of thought maybe John. You know, he might be coming over to get John. That makes the most sense.
Right.
But, yeah.
Of course, I guess it would make sense if you want to take down the leader, be the most sense, cut the head off
Yeah.
from the beast
Yeah.
instead of just an arm,
Yeah. Then we just get I just kind of, there's like no significance to this scene, but just a little scene with Tommy, Grace, and Charlie, and Tommy's showing Charlie the goldfish in the water trough for the horses, and I don't know, I just kind of thought that was neat.
So it's a nice little scene.
Yeah, that was like his, that was his
Family
thing,
man.
and just like knowledge that he's passing on to his son.
Yeah.
Tommy comes into it's like never a good way to say it, to the bookie, to the bookmaker establishment, to
Home base.
Yeah, to that building where they take the bets, and he tells John that there's cops outside. They've all been out there in a van. That by the look of their boots, they're from London. That was one thing too that I was like, what?
I don't know. They wear different boots up there?
I guess. Yeah, it was like from the look of their boots.
They're more
London.
fashionable up there in London.
All right, cool.
Just a way to, maybe some type of slang. I don't know.
Yeah. So the police bust in and they basically give up without a fight. Esme is there and she's pregnant, and it's probably just not the best situation to start firing off guns at the cops.
It's Scotland Yard.
Yeah. And it's not the local police, not the Birmingham police, it's Scotland Yard. And I liked the line that inspector guy gave when they were dragging them out of there. He said, "Peaky Blinders, my ass." Then, yeah, they didn't really live up to their name there. I'm sure they came, like the Scotland Yard came there expecting a fight.
Right, yeah. Probably so. I'm sure they were briefed on it.
Yeah. So Tommy's taken just into police custody. Father Hughes comes to meet him in jail, and this is kind of what we were talking about. This is just the Odd Fellows trying to put him in a spot where they remind him that they have the power, they can get to him at any time, and that this is, you're going to have a lot worse than this if you can't do what we need you to do.
Right. I love scenes like this, though, especially this one, because he's not there to talk about whatever the priest wants to talk about. He's there. He's so fixated on that dog, that Doberman. What's your dog's name,
I'm just going to call him Boy.
I'm just going to call him Boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just keeps talking about, he's a gypsy and he can, what do you say, he can charm dogs,
Yeah.
And So he keeps begging him to take him off the leash and give him an order to kill. Which sounded like, too, it was really weird because he says...
Wallach.
Yeah, he tells him to say it in Gaelic, which is what he usually does. But then it's like he says it, and it's like it does not sound like Tommy Shelby at all to me.
No.
It's really dear. Moloch.
Yeah. Well, and he does a really good... he does a really good Romansh.
Who?
Tommy.
Roman. Oh, you talking about Romanian? Like Gypsy?
Yeah, Roma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or what does Polly say later on? Raka or Shelta?
Yeah. Something like that. She said a couple of different names.
Yeah. And I feel like that fits his character really well. Like, he does a really good accent there.
Yeah.
And it goes with his character really well. But yeah, him saying stuff in Gaelic, like, it sounds very... I mean, I think he was trying to sound, like, commanding.
Right.
And,
Well, he is...
to say it how the priest would say it,
right.
you know? But
and his... Cillian Murphy is Irish, too, so...
Yeah.
The one time he actually gets to speak in Irish.
Polly and Ada talk with the painter. There we go, painter.
Yeah, but you forgot one important part about the priest. And
Well, enlighten me.
so he basically is showing another strength is, hey, look, we can get to you whenever we want to, as close as we want to. And he basically makes an allusion to his family, like his close family, like Grace and his kid. So that's when he goes home real quick and was like freaking out, digging all through his kid's stuff. And then he finally finds that calling card underneath the kid's pillow.
Yeah,
It said like Rip, whatever his son's name is or whatever.
Is that what it said?
I think it said Rip, whatever his name is.
Okay.
It says something, but I can't remember exactly what.
All right.
Or maybe it said Rip Tommy Shelby. I don't remember.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I guess I thought it was just like further on.
No, that's right then and there.
Okay. Yeah, and then just some more like insignificant stuff with the painter. I feel like all this stuff with the painter is to just kind of like give you another little side story for Polly and just show you some different things about Polly that you maybe didn't think about before or don't really see with her much. Or maybe just to give her a love interest.
She's still active for her age.
Yeah. Because I don't remember that he ever really plays like a major part.
I don't think he does, but then again, they could like come up in surprises, you know?
Yeah.
And be like, oh, all along he was the leader of the Oddfellows or whatever.
Oh my God.
I don't think that's what it was, but...
So yeah, just scene with Polly and the painter. He's Ada tries to get her to invite him to the charity benefit, and she doesn't want to. So then we have the foundation dinner. And I just thought it was kind of funny that Grace is introducing Tommy to people, especially, like, what was it, the leader of the Birmingham City Council, and Tommy already knows him. He's already done some dealings with him.
Yep.
So I think it's just kind of eye-opening for her, too, that all these people are involved in all these things. Father Hughes and Patrick Jarvis were invited.
MP.
Grace, yeah, whatever. And
every time you say that name, I'm doing that.
and Grace didn't know who they were. She said they were on the was it like the city's like best people list or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
And so she invited them.
They were recommended by Lord Mayor.
The Lord Mayor. So Tommy goes off to talk with Hughes and Jarvis. Where's that room that they're talking at?
First off, is that their house?
Is it?
I don't know. I was about to ask you. It's like, why would you have some like little? I don't know. It's like a theater.
I don't think it's at their house.
That's what I was thinking. I don't think it's at their house.
Yeah.
Some type of little small theater area.
Yeah.
Also, almost makes me think of like, was it in there like how they used to do like Shakespearean plays back in the day? Like the stage was like right there.
Yeah. They talk about basically just Tommy's plans for
The robbery.
yeah, stealing the tanks and how they're going to cause all this to happen. He lays his plan out, how they're going. There's going to be a citywide strike. That they're going to stop the train twice to make this happen. Drivers are going to join the strike, 2 different places. And so yeah, he's just laying out these plans for them. And I just like again, just like him kind of giving them the business. You know, I like how he says that he's planning for everything and forgetting nothing.
Yeah.
And he's basically just telling them, like, I'm going to remember that you guys are putting me through the ringer like this.
Yep.
He says, there's hell and there's another level below hell, and I will remember everything. And he just kind of leaves them with that.
By the way, they're at a hotel.
Okay. What hotel?
It didn't say.
Just hotel?
Yeah. Well, the priest had mentioned this conversation about them being in this hotel or whatever. He said this hotel.
Okay. Tatiana Romanov, she's there also. She was Duke Romanov's niece who brought Tommy the money in the first episode. She shows up. She says it's just for a chance to be treated like a duchess again. But then this is where she tells Tommy that the Sapphire is cursed. You know, whether or not it is, probably not, because we know these things only happen because of what John did to the Changrettas.
Yeah.
But she tells Tommy it's a cursed sapphire, that nothing would ever make her put it on.
Right.
Because Grace is wearing it at the foundation event.
Well, and like they're kind of having, because when he comes back to the room, they're talking to each other, Grace and Tatiana, and they're kind of having some banter back and forth. You know, it's a cat fight a brewing kind of thing. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she probably just said that too, that just kind of mess with them, maybe get back at her or whatever.
Yeah.
Have some fun. I just didn't know it would go this far.
Yeah, so after that, just as they're about to go, I don't know where they're going. She says go inside. I don't know if they're going to like another bigger room or something.
Probably going to go eat.
Yeah.
Probably.
Everybody kind of starts making their way through, and a guy dressed as a waiter pushes his way through the crowd, pulls a gun, and yells for Angel as he shoots. And the bullet that was meant for Tommy hits Grace, and she goes down.
Yay! And I cheered.
God. Yeah, I always forget you hate her.
Yeah. I just don't like her.
Yeah.
Not that I really cheered when she got shot, but yeah. Tommy's pain is my pleasure. Anyway.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the whole series. Like this slow motion shot of like Tommy and Grace going to the ground. Ada starting to go over to Tommy, but then stopping. Polly running over and then running to go call for an ambulance. And Finn, John, and Arthur just beating
the
this
crap,
guy
yeah.
to death.
And then standing over all of them is Tatiana.
Yeah.
Just as a spectator, just watching.
And then Arthur grabs that vase that's basically like a punch bowl.
Yep.
And he's just going to smash that guy's head in with it.
There's the Arthur we know and love.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is. There he is. It's
and-
like you've said it before, but the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's on the couch and he's all
yeah.
pointing. Ooh.
Yeah. So that is the end of season 3, episode 2, which kind of leaves you with Grace having been shot, and first time through, you're kind of like, okay, well, she might pull through.
She's gonna make it.
Yeah, she might make it. Tommy got shot.
It's only a flesh wound.
Yeah.
That's true. Tommy did get shot.
Yeah.
Plenty of people get shot.
People
and
get
live.
shot in this show. Yeah. That's it. That's a real happy note to leave off on the end of an episode.
Well, happy for me, but
Yeah, you were pretty excited.
I was like the one fan probably, because I think I'm like the only person that I've met that like likes this show that says they don't like Grace at all. Everybody else I know is like, no, she's great. Like, no, she's not. Quite the opposite.
How does it feel to be so wrong?
Yeah. When I'm oh so right. I don't know.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Just make sure to follow us on Twitter at RedRightHandPO1. You can follow me on Twitter at Joshua Lynn Gary, and also on Twitch at GhostLad676. Oh, and then also our YouTube at Red Right Hand. Just Red Right Hand?
No, yeah, it's Survived by Productions.
Yep,
Yep.
that's right. Is Survived by
We're
Productions.
throwing you a curveball.
I'm sure you can look it up though by Red Right Hand
Yeah,
Podcast.
you should be able to.
So, yep. Just make sure to give us a follow on those, and we will be back next week for season 3, episode 3. See ya.